You know, when you think of icons, there's really none bigger, in my opinion, than this man, Elvis Presley, undoubtedly the king of rock and roll. And a lot of people say, oh, was he? Because there were so many other people. And there was, of course. Over here, the wonderful and brilliant Billy Fury. What a guy. What a performer. And then our very own Tommy Steele. Of course, we had mega stars, but there was really only one Elvis. And all of these people, including the wonderful and still going strong at 80 plus, Sir Cliff Richard, tells me that basically everything started the moment Elvis came on the radio. They couldn't believe what was happening. And when you look at a legacy like that, I remember, you know, chums, being at school, very young, in fact. And when, of course, Elvis passed, they actually said to us in the class, they stopped the school and said, Elvis Presley has died. Can you imagine that in today's world? People wouldn't necessarily be interested, would they? Because there was nobody with that star power. He was, and I just remember being very affected by it, simply because, you know, I knew who he was, I'd heard his music, and I thought, wow, you know, because he was so young. But of course, when you're young, you think that 42 is pretty ancient, don't you? But you know what I mean? A strange and very sad story. Of course, his music and the persona lives on, and rightly so. I just think he's one of the all-time greatest, you know. It's interesting as well, I don't know if you know this, that he was down and he wanted to actually appear in that mega hit TV show, Hawaii Five-0. And the TV bosses offered him a great idea, a plot, and he liked the idea of moving into television. Remember, he'd had so much success at Paramount with all the films, but apparently, as ever, his manager, Colonel Tom Parker, said no, there isn't enough money, so Elvis never got to appear in the show, although he did become good friends with the star, I mentioned him recently, Jack Lord, wonderful man, and you know, when you think about it, we all think of him and the same place, don't we? Now, here's the problem, you see, because this is the problem with legacies, celebrities, and of course, well, icons that left us too early, and there are many. James Dean, Marilyn Monroe, so many names. However, this is now problematic. Let me explain. Morning, good to see you, chums. Thank you as ever for your time and welcome back. Welcome one and all brand new subscribers. Tell me your favourite Elvis song in the box. We'll see if we'll see if we agree. Well, I'll kick it off. Yes, I do like Jailhouse Rock. I like that. I just like the start of it. You know straight away, don't you, what it's going to be. Terrific, you know. But I do like Hound Dog as well. Don't Be Cruel. Could name them all. Don't get me going. What shows, though, do let me know in the box. I'd love to know. And have you ever heard a cover of an Elvis song and thought this is just as good, if not better? Let me know that. Interesting. Now, as you know, right now, or you may not know, but there's a massive sort of lawsuit fallout with Priscilla Presley and her former business managers. Very sad indeed. I've interviewed Priscilla on a number of occasions, a very charming lady and, you know, savvy, business-minded, absolutely. But at 80 years old, you would have thought that she might have had all the difficulties of life now well and truly in the past. Sadly not. Her business managers are suing her for millions of dollars, basically saying that they put her on a financial footing, and why have they now been dumped all of these years later? There's some horrific things that they are claiming, and again I have to say allegedly, in the lawsuit. I won't upset you because it is pretty grim. And as we know, sadly, Priscilla lost her daughter and of course her grandchild too. And that apparently was the reason why Lisa Marie Presley sadly just lost the will, according to Priscilla Presley, to live. On a brighter note though, she's coming to London this coming month because she's appearing at the Prince Edward Theatre. And this is an afternoon event where she's going to be talking on stage with an interviewer about, you know, her life and her biography and all that sort of stuff. Why is it problematic? Well, the problem now is that, as you know, on these events, they have this question and answer thing from the audience. And the bigger issue now is that they don't want the media getting in and asking pertinent questions, ruining it. Now, it is a problem, let me explain. And this is where it gets really tricky, because you see, if they ask a question and the whole event gets shut down, they then have to refund people because technically they haven't had the full show. But you can't screen every question. You can ask people to submit questions and they will be put up on stage, but somebody can shout out a question from the audience. This has left the producers in a bit of a quandary, and already it's not the busting sellout that it should be, but ultimately, you know, I think people have either seen her before. I remember interviewing her the last time when she came over here, and it was appearing in Panto at Wimbledon of all things. She enjoyed it, didn't know what was going on, but she said there were a wonderful cast and she made a lot of friends. Can't wish for anything more than that. So where are we at right now? Well, if you're going, keep going. But the problem is, looking at it from this early stage, and it's the latter part of this coming month, September, things look set to get very tricky. And apparently the people that are suing Priscilla Presley are planning to ramp it up even further. It's getting messy, and you would have thought, as I said, a lady of 80 years old, things might have just got a little bit easier. It is never ever easy in the world of celebrity, no matter what age you are. But again, do let me know, what was your favourite Elvis song? Neil Sean in the very heart of London.